Good morning. As requested, I'm redoing my curry goat rice and peas, and this time I'm adding hush puppies to the recipe. So for this you'll need quite a few ingredients, but they're really easy to get. If you can go to your butchers, they do goat meat, mutton, but go to your local West Indian shop if you can and get it, and buy the skinless and boneless goat. So you need about 1 kilo of goat meat. You'll need curry powder, all-purpose seasoning, which you've all seen me using my seasonal, some salt. I like to use the pink Himalayan salt, a scotch bonnet pepper. If you can't get that, a chilli will be fine. I'm using chillies because we prefer it than the scotch bonnet. Pimento seeds. So these are the pimento seeds. You'll crush them. You can't get pimento seeds, allspice will do. You'll need a medium onion, some spring onions, some garlic cloves, but you'll also need ginger. So I use the ginger and garlic paste. Makes life a bit easier. 1 large potato, some cooking oil, water, a lime to wash your meat in, and some white vinegar. So let's go. So I'll actually start this about 2.5 hours before I need it. Sometimes I do it and marinate the meat overnight, but I didn't have time. So this is the goat meat if I come in. So it's in cubes and it's skinless and boneless goat meat. You'll need, this is my meat sieve with a lime, and this is a bowl and some gloves. And basically I'm going to empty out the meat, squeeze some lime juice on it and a bit of white vinegar and give it a really good wash. So this is my goat meat, all washed and stuff. You can see it's in cubes. So that's washed in a little bit of white vinegar and some lime. Make sure it's really clean. So next you want to add in your ingredients in to marinate this. Like I said, a couple of hours will do, but overnight's even better, but I've only got a couple of hours. So in this bowl you need to add in 1.5 teaspoons of curry powder, not all of what you've got measured out, your pink salt, all-purpose seasoning, your pimento, your ginger, your garlic, scotch bonnet pepper or chilli, your spring onion green bits, and a drizzle of oil. Rub it into the meat, cover it with cling film, and let that marinate. So I should get all that in now. So while I just chop up an onion and some spring onions, I'll just give you a little background of why I like doing this recipe. So my dad is Jamaican and my mum is Barbadian. I was born in the UK, so was my sister. I don't class myself as West Indian. But my mum came over when she was 12 and my dad came over when he was just 17. He was in the Merchant Navy. Came over and stayed and had his own nightclub. Very cool. And my mum was originally a nurse and became a policewoman. So yeah, cooking was something our whole family absolutely loved to do. My mum did a lot of cooking, my dad did a lot of cooking. Me and my sister both went to private schools, and a lot of the time we'd have hot dinners and stuff, but we used to love the packed lunches because we'd always come home to something incredible cooked when my mum and dad come in from work. But we never had a lot of West Indian cooking, apart from peas and rice, curry goat, and maybe a pork hocks and Barbadian stew and soup. We didn't have any West Indian food, so I never really grew up watching it being cooked very often, only, like I said, when we had these particular recipes. And I was always terrible at cooking rice, but it always stuck with me. Mum and dad making the curries. My gran was the one for making a lot of West Indian food, but I didn't eat a lot at my grandmother's. So this recipe always brings back fond memories of watching my dad cooking it, and my mum cooking it. And I still use the same pressure cooker that my dad had. That's what I use, and I still do it the way my parents did it. So if there's anybody out there who says there's a bit of it wrong, or I haven't done it the way their Jamaican parents did or whatever, each Jamaican family always have their way of doing things. This is the way my dad did it. My mum being Barbados, they made it slightly differently, so it's probably a blend of the two. And at the end, you'll see me make hush puppies, which are American. So, yeah, I shall get on. Now I've made it watch a boil, a bit of me chopping a bit of onion and spring onion. Add that to the bowl with the goat meat. A really good, generous helping of salt. Any type of salt you use, I use pink Himalayan salt. A really, really good sprinkle of that all over your meat. Next, get your curry powder. Any kind of curry powder will do. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'm just using Asda medium curry powder. Now, if in the instructions it says 2.5 tablespoons, which is correct, but at this point you're only adding 1.5 teaspoons. You will add the rest later on. Right, garlic and ginger. Remind me, I need to get it back out the fridge. Right, so this is my seasonal. Sorry, that was a note to self. Seasonal, any European, any Caribbean shop. If you have trouble getting it, just use all seasoning from your local supermarket. But it is really, really worth trying to get hold of the seasonal. Right, that was me going off to the fridge now. That was I forgot to put the ginger and the garlic back in the fridge. Oh, I've got it back out again. There you go. Ginger and garlic paste came from my local European shop in the town. Absolutely love this stuff. Add 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, because you're using both together, and get your gloves on. And this is where I'm going to get my chilli. Now, I like Scotch bonnet peppers. Most of my family don't like Scotch bonnet peppers, and my dad can't eat Scotch bonnet peppers, so I tend to use a chilli. Gloves are on because I will always rub my eye, or I will always have a bit under my fingernail and forget, and then regret it. So cut it in half, seeds out with a teaspoon, give it all a good chop up. When put it into the goat mix, once you've done all of that. There you go. Quick skip forward. There it is. Good generous helping of oil, any oil of your type. So now you need to get your glove and give it a very gentle mix. Remember, the goat is boneless, so it will break up, and you don't want to break it up into small pieces. So just very gently make sure everything is coated. Now, then you're going to coat it in cling film and put it in your fridge for 2 hours. But just after I put the cling film in, I remembered I hadn't added the pimento seeds. So, grab your pimento seeds and put them in a sandwich bag and give them a bash with a rolling pin to break them up. Now, normally I'd use a pestle and mortar, but because it's such a small amount of pimento seeds, and normally I'll do a big lot and put them in a separate pot, but I was just doing the right amount for today. So I quickly added them to the goat and put it in the fridge. Next, you'll need some thyme. There's 2 sprigs of fresh thyme, some green and white bits of the spring onion, half a white onion, and you'll need a tin of kidney beans and a tin of coconut milk. Now, this is my cheats way of doing peas and rice. So I've already cooked the rice. It came out my freezer. When I did a big batch, I always keep some back, put it in a freezer for emergencies. I also use a lot of microwave rice, but when I'm doing peas and rice, I do like to cook my rice. So that's defrosted and all ready. You'll need a jug of water and a heavy base pan. So first of all, I washed my kidney beans and I'm going to put them into the pan. There you go, that's the kidney beans all washed. Then I'm going to add a can of coconut milk. Then I'm going to add some more of my ginger and garlic paste. Right, next I'm going to add the pimento seeds. That's another lot that I crushed. I think there were about 5 seeds in that one. Give it a quick stir. Right, then there you get a wooden spoon. That makes it a bit easier than trying to stir with a fork. Now I'm going to add my fresh thyme, stalks and all. Really good generous grind of salt. Another recipe that I will taste later, add more salt if necessary. So give it a good grind of salt. Then I'm going to add my white onion, my spring onion. Get that out of there. Come on you, that's it. Give it another stir. Then add my rice. And another stir. Now, even though there's quite a lot of liquid in there, you do want to be cooking your kidney beans, even though my rice is already cooked. So I will add enough water that I know that will cook my kidney beans and recook my rice that's already been cooked, but it will cook it all together. Now, a lot of people like not to wash their kidney beans so they get the pink colouring, but you will still get enough of it when you've washed them. I just prefer to. Now put it on the cooker, put it on to boil. When it starts to boil, turn it down really, really low and put a cover onto it and leave it. Now, get my pressure cooker. This is my dad's old pressure cooker. It's all beat up. The bottom of it's all rocking and rounded. I've got a Ninja pressure cooker, but I do like to do this the way my dad did it and my mum did it. So out comes the pressure cooker. And it's such a nice heavy based one that nothing really sticks. There's my goat out of the fridge. That's been in there for a couple of hours. I'm going to add some oil into my pressure cooker and the remaining amount of curry powder from earlier. Now, when you cook this, keep a close eye on the curry powder. Do not let it burn. It will ruin everything and you'll have to start again. So keep a really close eye on it. But this is where you will sear or brown the goat meat, get that nice colouring on the outside of it and start the cooking process. And the beauty of doing it in this pan is that all the juices from browning the goat meat will remain in the pan and it will flavour everything else and it will get the taste of the curry powder deep into the meat because the juices are still in there from you browning it. If you have a lot of goat meat, so if you're doing double the measurements or your pressure cooker isn't that big, you can use 2 pans and then put it in your electric pressure cooker if that's what you're using. Or if you're using one like mine, I know that that's my diced potato. So one diced potato has been sitting in water waiting to go in at a later date, not right now. So I was saying, I know that my pressure cooker can hold all this meat and sear it in one go. I don't have to do it in 2 separate bits. So now my curry powder has started to infuse itself into the oil. I'll drop a little bit of onion in, see if it's going to sizzle. Then I know my oil is hot enough. My rice is just starting to bubble, so I'm just keeping a close eye on that. Sorry the camera angles that you can only see half of that pan. I've lost my overhead stand and for some reason I have no idea where I've put it. So I'm having to use an ordinary tripod and try and get the angles right. But when we finish having the kitchen renovated, I'm actually going to be having a stand put in permanently on the wall, so you'll be able to look down on the recipes when I'm cooking them instead of this dodgy angle that I continuously keep uploading with. Right, I can know now that that is getting nice and hot. And I keep disappearing. I don't know what it is. I think because we've got a new puppy, Freddie the puppy, And he was getting a bit upset actually because he couldn't see his mum. So I've had to adjust where he was sitting. Right, there you go. I'm going to add all my goat in and everything else that was in that dish when it was marinating. Getting every last bit out. Put that in the sink. And now gently stirring it to make sure everything's coated. There you go. And I'll keep doing that until all of it is nicely browned. There you go. It's starting to brown. There's a few pieces in there that just need more doing. But that it is. Oh, the smell. I wish you could smell it. The smell is delicious. Right, I've added in enough water to cover it, and I've put the lid on and put that on to pressure cook it. It'll be about an hour, and I will check it, and then I'll put it back on again if the meat isn't tender enough. If the meat's tender enough, that is when I will add the potato. You can see in the background the lid's on the rice. That is cooking really, really low until all the water has gone. All the water has disappeared now. I won't take the lid off. Leave your lid on until the last minute just before you serve and let it steam. Right, in this bowl here, I have cornmeal, flour, sugar, salt, paprika, and some garlic powder. There's 2 eggs, milk, and 2 spring onions chopped. This is how to make hush puppies. So mix all your ingredients in a bowl. Whisk up your egg and your milk. And then add it in and just give it all a whisk. Or a stir with a spoon. And that is your batter for your hush puppies. Now, hush puppies, like I said, are an American thing, but we love it with our gravy. Right, that's the hush puppies. It has been sitting for about 10 minutes just to let everything settle. And that is a pan of hot oil. 2 spoons. And I will get a tray and line it with some kitchen paper so that I can put them on and soak up any oil. Just drop in spoonfuls, not too many, and let them cook. There you go. The first batch I always cut in half so I can get my timings. There you go, a whole tray of hush puppies. Hi guys, right, my phone went flat. My battery died and I didn't realise, and it took ages for some reason to charge. So after I did the hush puppies, I was unable to film the curry goat rice and peas being served up. But you saw what it looked like. When it came out the pressure cooker, all the meat was soft. The gravy had made itself into a nice thick curry sauce kind of gravy. I added the potatoes, let them cook without the lid on until they were soft. Tested for seasoning, added a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, and it was all done. Served it with the peas and rice and some hush puppies on the side. So sorry there isn't a picture of it all dished up. Of course, as soon as it was ready, everyone tucked in, and yeah, there was no more to show. But next time I do it, I will make sure to show you a picture of the ending. Next time I cook it, I will, on Instagram and on here, I'll just put a photo of what it looked like. But I really do hope you try and cook your curry goat. It's an amazing meal, and because it's goat, it's really low calorie. It comes out at like 20 calories per serving, and I really, really hope you enjoyed the video. So apologies again about my lack of charging my phone. I really have got to start using my iPhone and not filming everything on my Samsung as well, because when it goes flat, it takes ages to charge back up again. But I hope you have a lovely day. I'm sitting here with a very sleepy puppy. Say hello. He's trying to get in the co-op bag that's behind because there's some doggy treats in there, aren't you? But he's a bit sleepy because he's just had his lunch. But thank you so much for joining me on my channel. I really do hope you will subscribe and stay along with me and see what we get up to next. Have a great day.